Hi dear students. So in the last class we have discussed about the velocity vector and as well the components of the velocity vector in a plane, or we can say the motion in a plane. Now we are going to see the instantaneous velocity in the case of a motion in a plane. As we know, we have already studied that in the motion of a body in a straight line, the instantaneous velocity is the velocity at a particular time, or we can say the velocity at an instant is known as the instantaneous velocity, where the time interval value will be negligible or it limited to 0. The limit delta t tends to 0. The delta t value will be very negligible or will be almost equal to 0. Then as you know the delta t is 0, the delta x value will also be very negligible. Then delta x by delta t, that is known as the average velocity. When the delta t tends to 0, the delta x by delta t can be written as dx by dt, which will be is equal to the v, and that is the instantaneous velocity at that particular time. So here it is given that v is equal to dr by dt. So we have obtained that v is equal to dr by dt from that limit delta t tends to 0, delta x by or delta r by delta t, that we have discussed in the last class. v that is the instantaneous velocity, v is equal to limit delta t tends to 0, delta r by delta t, this equation. So dr by dt is the instantaneous velocity. So the derivation, once again it is given here. So you can see that limit delta t tends to 0, the x component delta x by delta t, the average velocity of the x component plus the average velocity of the y component. So where the I into I, the unit vector I, we have to take outside, that is a constant value, so we are not applying the limit for that value as well, j. Then limit delta t tends to 0, delta x by delta t will become dx by dt, and another one limit delta t tends to 0, delta y by delta t, where delta y by delta t is the average velocity component in the y axis. So delta y by delta t, limit delta t tends to 0, delta y by delta t become dy by dt. So where the dx by dt is the x component of the velocity, that is vx, and dy by dt is the y component of the velocity, that is v by. So v is equal to dr by dt, the x component vx will be is equal to dx by dt, and vy is equal to dy by dt. So if you are given with the position vector in terms of t, then by differentiating that vector with respect to t, you can find out the instantaneous velocity for that motion for a particular time. The dx by dt, that means the position vectors differentiation with respect to we have to take the differentiation of the position vector with respect to the time. Now the component values, the x component value vx and the y component value vy you are having. So vector v will be is equal to vx I cap plus vy j cap. V will be is equal to Vx I cap plus Vy j cap, where actually it is in the form of B C is equal to A plus B. Then you know that the magnitude of the V will be is equal to root of Vx square plus Vy square. So here the magnitude of the resultant vector V in terms of the component vectors Vx and Vy. So V will be is equal to square root of Vx square plus Vx square plus Vy square. Okay. So here the xy graph is given. The positions of a motion in a plane. So for finding the instantaneous velocity's direction at a particular curve, you have to just draw a tangent to that curve. At which point, if you want to find the direction, you have to draw a tangent for the curve at that particular point. Suppose if the theta is the angle between the tangent, that is the direction of velocity, with the x-axis. Theta is the angle between x-axis and the direction of the velocity, that is the tangent. Then, as we have discussed in the last sections, where the Vx value will be, the magnitude of Vx will be is equal to V cos theta, and the Vy value will be is equal to, magnitude of vector Vy will be is equal to V sin theta. So by taking or rearranging this equation, then tan theta will be is equal to Vy by Vx, that is V sin theta divided by V cos theta. So V cancel, sin theta divided by cos theta will be is equal to tan theta. So if you want to find out that answer, if the Vy and the Vx values if you are having, and you want to find out the angle between the direction of the velocity direction and the x-axis, then theta will be is equal to tan inverse of Vy by Vx. Okay. Now let us come to the acceleration. The velocity was equal to delta x by delta t. Here this acceleration will be is equal to delta v by delta t. That means the change in velocity for a particular interval of time. That measure is known as, or that measurement is known as, the acceleration. So the average acceleration already we have discussed in the linear motion, but here along with that value we have to consider the two components of the acceleration. So here vector A will be is equal to delta v by delta t. Delta v is actually delta of Vx I cap plus Vy j cap. Means vector v, sorry, v, vx and vy. So using the parallelogram law, vector v will be is equal to vx I cap plus vy j cap. So here at the place of this v, we are just substituting this value vx I cap plus vy j cap, and rearranging the equation, and you will get the average acceleration will be is equal to ax I cap plus ay j cap. That are the two components of the vertical and horizontal components of the acceleration. One is in the x-axis and another one is in the y-axis. Actually, we can define the acceleration in terms of the position also, or the displacement also. That is d square x divided by dt square. We are taking the double or 2 times. We have to differentiate the position or the displacement value, then we can obtain the acceleration. That is for the instantaneous acceleration, the dx by dt, d by dt of dx by dt. Dx by dt is actually v. We know that acceleration is dv by dt, so d by dt of dx by dt will be is equal to the acceleration. See here, the instantaneous acceleration will be limit delta t tends to 0 delta v by delta t. So the delta v, we have to convert that into the factors vx and vy. So delta v will be is equal to delta vx I cap plus delta v by j cap, and as we have done in the last case, the I and j will be taken outside. The limit cannot be applied. We cannot apply the limit over I and j, and remaining will be considered, and we will get the equation the a is equal to ax I cap plus ay j cap, where a is the instantaneous instantaneous acceleration, and ax and ay are the two components of this vector a. So where ax value is equal to dvx by dt, or we can say d square by dt square of x, d square x divided by dt square, or d by dt of vx. That is the acceleration, instantaneous acceleration. So here also instantaneous acceleration is having two components as it is in the plane or two-dimensional motion. So the vx value dvx by dt, and the vy value ax value dvx by dt, and ay value will be is equal to dvy by dt. The direction of the acceleration. Actually, as we know, the average acceleration is equal to delta v by delta t. So we can write that one as the average acceleration is equal to 1 by t of delta v, where the delta v is having a direction, but 1 by t is actually the time which is not having any a vector. It is just a scalar quantity, or we can say a numerical number. So if you are multiplying a scalar quantity or a number with a vector, only its magnitude changes, the direction will be the same. So as we know, the average acceleration is equal to 1 by t into delta v. The direction of both delta v and average acceleration will be same. So here the first one, we are taking a little bit more time interval, so the displacement happening is also large. the first velocity, the direction of the first one, it is almost like this, and the second one v and v dash. So the delta v value will be coming like this. Actually the v plus delta v is v dash, so the head of v is joined with the tail of delta v, so v plus delta v, v plus delta v will be is equal to v dash. Now we are just reducing the time interval. Actually we are that means the delta t is tending to 0. We are just reducing the delta t in such a way to reach 0. In that case also the direction of the acceleration or the change in velocity, both are in the same direction, but the magnitude is decreased. The magnitude is get decreased. And again if you are going, again the delta v value both in the same direction. The time interval we have considered in this figure is also getting reduced in such a way to reach delta t is equal to 0. Now come to this figure. In this one you can see only a particular point is considered and the tangent to that point is drawn, and that is the direction of the velocity. And the change in the velocity or the acceleration direction will be the same for the whatever the direction which was for that of delta v in the last 2-3 cases, the same direction, the instantaneous acceleration also will be there. That is this one. So where the delta v value we don't want to consider for a particular point or for one particular instant, the delta t is tending to 0, as the delta v also almost is equal to 0. Okay. This statement we are just comparing both the straight line motion and the motion in a plane. So in one dimension the velocity and the acceleration of an object are always along the same straight line. Yes, in the straight line motion or in the one dimensional motion we have seen that acceleration and both velocity and acceleration both are in the same direction or in the same line. But here we have seen that the change in velocity, here the velocity value, the direction of the velocity value is this and the acceleration value is this one. Both are different. As well the change in velocity, that is also in another direction other than the v and v dash. So for motion in a 2 or 3 dimension, velocity and acceleration vectors may have any angle between 0 degree and 180 degree. So in this case either in a 2 dimension or in 3 dimension, the velocity and acceleration vectors may they can make in between 0 to 180 any of the angles they can make each other. But for a straight line motion it may be 0 or 180, parallel or anti-parallel. Now just come to the kinematic equations of a motion in a plane or a 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional motion. So here for our convenience we are just considering the 2-dimensional motion only. The z component we are not considering, the x and y components we are just considering in this section. So here the object is moving in xy plane, acceleration value is constant, So for the constant acceleration only we are going to derive the the kinematic equation. So over an interval of time, the average acceleration will be equal to a constant value. The velocity v0 at a time t0 and v at a time t. The velocity value is v0 for t is equal to 0 and for the initial time, the t0, and v is the final velocity at the time t. So the acceleration value will be is equal to v minus v0 divided by t minus 0. Already we have done this one in the straight line motion, the derivation of the first kinematic equation. So we will obtain the first one as v is equal to v0 plus at. Now for this v is equal to v0 plus at, there are two components. If we are considering the two-dimensional motion, this is the important portion. So the vx, that is the x component of the velocity, will be is equal to v0x, the initial velocity is x component, plus ax, the acceleration's x component, into t. So vx will be is equal to v0x plus ax into t. As well, vy will be is equal to v0y plus ay into t. So in the coming two more equations are there. There also the velocity acceleration terms we have to convert it into the component terms. For the x-axis also, for the x-axis you will be finding the equation, and as well for the y-axis also, for y-axis also we have to find out the equation or the components. For the components, each components, various equations we have to design and find it. The second equation we know that the delta x is equal to v0 t plus half a t square, or x is equal to x0 plus v0 t plus half a t square. But also you have to substitute, or in the terms of the x component and y component, you have to write. In the x component, the displacement is happened in the x direction. So displacement will be is equal to x minus x0, which is equal to v0 x into t plus half ax t square. This is the second kinematic equation for the component of velocity, or the component of the motion in the x direction. As well for y direction also we can find the equation as y is equal to y0 plus v0 yt plus half ay t square. Okay, I think this much things are clear. So in the coming class we will discuss the next sections, and as well the projectile and uniform circular motion. That are the major or important topic regarding this chapter. So you just go through the textbook, as well the exercise question answers, the direct exercise question answers will be there. Such question answers you just try to work, try that one, or try to work out that one, and as well just write that one in your notebook. Okay then, thank you.